Welcome to Mornings with the Focus. Hope everyone is doing well. Joined by Justin Walters this morning. Once again, I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Look, man, like we told you guys yesterday, we're going to talk a little bit about the two games that were played last night. Justin and I were just talking just now before I hit the big red button to get things going. It's not too much to take away from it, man. So just be wary of people. If you see anybody posting like wildly flagrant hot takes after 4 quarters of preseason football, just relax. Like, take a deep breath. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. No, people got to get their content in and whatnot. And I respect their hustle. However, there's nothing earth-shattering happened last night, honestly. I guess we could start with the Giants-Patriots, right? New England's offense, I think one of the only things I really took away from it, me personally, was they took a lot more shots downfield. Clearly, it's a point of emphasis for them. McCorkle did not play, but I thought you saw a little bit with Tyquan Thornton and what's the other kid's name?
Christian Wilkerson?
There you go, Christian Wilkerson and Tyquan Thornton. Like, Thornton didn't have a bunch of catches, right? He was only targeted twice, but when he was out there, clearly they were looking to go deep. And with Wilkerson, they actually just executed. Like, he wasn't out there for anything outside of that. So, we talked about one of the things they were trying to address in the offseason was adding more pop to their offense. So that's one of the things I walked away with, right? The other thing is Alabama defensive linemen, whether they're drafted or undrafted, seem like safe bets. And New England has a thing for them, obviously. For the Giants, Daniel Jones came out. It's kind of solid, 6 for 10. It's good seeing a healthy Tyrod Taylor out there doing what a vet's supposed to do and look like a vet's supposed to look in the first game of preseason when you're out there with folks, trying to find their way in this league. Like, it should look easy for you. So, that was cool. I think Saquon had 4 carries, so it was cool seeing him get a little something. You saw Pierre Strong from the Patriots. But again, man, it was nothing too much, man. It was just, for me personally, I was happy to see Richie James kind of healthy again. I don't think he ever got a chance to see what he could become in his prior stop. So that was cool, but that's all I really took from that first game. Justin, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, for the Giants, it was good. The running back Antonio Williams, he jumped off the tape. He didn't play till maybe I think second, third quarter. But when he got in, you could see it was different. He was moving. He was picking up chunks of yards, running the ball. Him and actually I like Deshaun Corbin as well from Florida State rookie. I'm interested to see if they get a legit shot at making the team. Or sometimes the teams will bring in a free agent, an older guy, but these guys have a little bit of juice, so maybe there's something they can bring to the table behind Barkley. And it was good to see the way they, the plan probably this year is to put the ball in Barkley's hands more often in different ways because he touched the ball like 6 times and, basically a drive and a half maybe. So it just shows how they want to run the offense, and that was without, their main receivers, pretty much all the receivers.
Right.
And then Colin Johnson from he was the Texas tall receiver. He could actually push for that Galladay spot if the Giants really depending on how they feel about Galladay moving forward. And then of course like Richie James. I see actually one thing I noticed is Evan Neal was on the ground a little bit. I kept seeing him. I think he was going against Anthony Jennings maybe. And a couple times they got some, he kind of had them off balance, and they were able to get a little bit of pressure. With New England, it was interesting to watch New England just because they've drafted a lot of young athletes the last few years, and now they're all starting to try to play. Now they're actually planning on playing. One thing we talked about the other day was defensively, they really, you have Josh Uche, you have Cameron Grone at linebacker, you have Matt Wilson coming in at linebacker. So you replace the linebackers, older, slower linebackers, with smaller guys who, you're going to have to keep them clean, which, not having Barmore and not having Gotcha out there, they weren't protected as well. So, maybe that would, they're definitely going to need to be covered up with bigger bodies. But again, they're noticing the change of the plan. Now instead of having the bigger guy who take on blocks, like run stuffers, you want more speed. So I seen Cameron McGrone looks good in coverage. He's a smaller linebacker, but he moves well. Mac Wilson's usually pretty good in coverage, and looked like he had he was the one making the calls yesterday. So I saw Wade play a little bit more. He played a decent amount, and he held his own. It was good to see considering he went from such a high level prospect to falling off the map. Who else? Ronnie Perkins. I wanted to see Ronnie Perkins. He came in a little later. Just I think that's just where they're going with young edge pressure. You know, they have the two D tackles, and then just a lot of young athletes between the safety position and the linebacker, and even the edge guys just being interchangeable with athletes. I know the first play I saw Jack Jones, he broke on a pass and almost had a pick six. I think the second time almost had another one. So it was good to see him out there. He's a player I think who's going to surprise people. You know, seeing the Patriots pick him in the fourth round when a lot of teams weren't even interested in him, I think they have big plans for him. I would have liked to see Marcus Jones, but I guess he was out. Bailey Zappi actually played well, played good football. You know, he's one of those guys that almost like a Minshew. You know, just he throws the ball well, just a gamer. You know, he's going to get the ball to the right people and run the offense and probably hang around the NFL for a while. The receivers, it was good to see. I mean, again, I don't know how many of these guys make the team, but Wilkerson, Nixon, and Thornton, just to see the fact that they were willing to take those shots. And these guys, these are guys that are like on the verge of, if they don't make the Patriots, hopefully maybe another team look at them and give them a real opportunity, because these guys were out there, playing good ball. But again, I think there's big plans for Thornton, whatever that is, just some deep shots. And there was one where he probably came back and attacked the ball, but he beat the corner cleanly. And if he worked his way back to the ball, he probably would have got a pass interference. But, obviously that throw could have been better as well. But just the stress he's able to put on defense is something that they haven't had and should open up the other guys, Warren and the other, Jacoby.
Oh, sorry. On to Titans Ravens. The Ravens continue their streak, man. They somehow just don't lose preseason games. I think yesterday was the 22nd consecutive win. One of the reasons they were able to get their 22nd consecutive win, you want to talk about just solid quarterback play in the preseason? Right, the lowest quarterback rating of the three quarterbacks to touch the field yesterday was 90.1. Tyler Huntley was crazy efficient. He was 16 to 18 on routes, with throwing for 109 yards. Anthony Brown was 10 to 15. Brett Hundley only attempted 2 passes, and he was the only one that got sacked twice. It was Ravens football, man. You know what to expect. Saw some people talking about like the wide receivers that were out there. Baltimore didn't play any of the wide receivers that should be having a great role, a big role this year. It was just depth, honestly. Shamar Bridges showed out. Isaiah Likely, both of those guys over and over again, routinely made plays. And Isaiah Likely, I was happy when they drafted him. It was cool seeing him do what he does that quick. And again, that's another weapon to go alongside Mark Andrews. You could put them out there together. You can deploy them in all different types of ways, and their problems. They both win in their respective ways. Clearly, Likely looks like he's a little bit. He got a little bit more wiggle, in open space. But again, he had a couple tough contested catches, strong catches that I liked, where you see a lot of that in Mark Andrews, where it's up the seam, it's amongst some bodies, they go up and they come down with it. 50-50 goes to 80-20 in their favor. On the Tennessee side, Racey McMath had 1 catch for 48 yards. So that was solid. I saw some people made a big deal about Treylon only getting 1 target. Dog, it's the first preseason game. I got to take a deep breath. Malik Willis was solid. I don't think I expected anything too much in that game. He also kind of showed you the room that he has to grow, right? Which is expected too. That's all I really took from it. And there's a couple running backs in this game that just ran incredibly hard on both sides. What did you take from this one, Justin?
Yeah, no, excuse me. The thing was just seeing Tyler Huntley. The way he's a borderline starter, and you'd like to see a team give a chance, But in the worst case, he just provides a safety blanket in case Lamar gets hurt, or he can go in for a game or two and actually hold up, whether it's winning or he has played well last year. So I just seeing the way he operates it's almost just like mature. Like he's a younger guy, but somehow the offense just runs smooth when he's in there. Plays confident, and he can run a little bit. He can throw. So You'd like to see him get an opportunity somewhere, but worst case, he's a good backup for them. Justice Hill ran the ball well for the Ravens. You almost forget about him because you always hear about J.K. Dobbins coming back and what Gus Edwards does. But Justice Hill, he's contributed before, and then he'll definitely contribute again this year with the other two coming back from injury. Like you said, likely he's gonna see the field. Just the plays he made, and you heard a lot about him. I think I've heard a lot was that he was supposed to be a second round pick, messed around and had a bad combine and dropped it. He probably could have been tight end 2, tight end 3, but ran a 4.8 or something at the combine, and that dropped him big time. But again, he showed that he can play out there. Travis Jones, it's good to see him make some plays out there, and especially for them getting him so late in the draft, that was another steal for them. Safety Geno Stone made some plays out there. He was around the ball a lot. I think he had an interception as well. And then for the Titans, like you said, Malik Willis, people are going to grab either side of it. Like, the runs, oh my gosh, but or the other thing. But he made a good throw. Made some other decisions, some other poor decisions, and I think he took a sack at the end of the half when they were driving to win. He should have threw the ball away. I think that those are things he just needs to play. I was happy to let him start and almost play a half. That's good. Just this is the football he needs. He needs as much football as he can get, and just to have the reps, good and bad. Obviously he's showing his athletic ability, which is is special. But being able to actually make football decisions, that'll just speed up his process. And maybe it goes from a 2-year thing to a 1-year thing, where they can see where he's at by the end of the year. But get him as many preseason snaps as they can. Then running back Hassan Haskins. Just to see, I think he's in competition for that number 2 spot behind Henry. He runs hard and he'll help in the pass game, a bigger back, but he can catch the ball a little bit. So I think that's something where you're trying to find a guy who can complement Henry. But the thing with them is, to complement Henry, you also got to be able to take a spot too when he's out, because he's going to miss some time the way he runs. So you want a back who kind of resembles him in some ways, but also can get the tough yards, where Henry doesn't always get the tough yards. Where you can get a guy who can stick his head in there and get you, the goal line stuff and short yard stuff. So I think Haskins could be that guy, depending on how the rest of the preseason goes.
No, for sure. Just y'all have to just relax, man. And what you said from Malik, I'm happy they got an opportunity to give him as many reps as possible, because I don't think Tannehill needs too much. Tannehill just he knows what he needs to do, and preseason's not going to help with that. Like, you're a vet. Just don't do what you did in the postseason. Like, don't lose a game. Your job is literally to just not mess this up. If I have to make something happen here and there, do that. Outside of that, keep everything on track, man. Keep the car on the road inside both lines. That's it. So hopefully that means Malik gets another 2 games of preseason work, honestly, or at least another half. Because maybe, I don't know what the Titans' plan is in terms of if Tannehill's going to get some time, but those reps are invaluable, man. Especially for those young quarterbacks, that you got to give them a chance to get used to the game speed, get used to what they're seeing, and then try to implement what they're supposed to do versus what they're seeing, and then get a feel for it. Like, it's a whole new game. Yeah, you've been playing it your whole life, but it's different on this level. And talk about all the time how, you wait for the game to slow down. Well, for it to slow down, you got to be in it. You got to be in it for the good, bad. And that was the biggest thing. I think I agree with you too with Malik, is just the decision making, right? Like, all the other stuff, it'll come, but you need reps for all of that, honestly. So, that's just something to keep in mind, not just from Malik Willis, but you can say that about any of these young players across the league, whether it's first and second year players included. Honestly, like, it's about valuable reps, because there's a bunch of second year players in this league that didn't get meaningful reps last year. The reps are the reps, man. You need them. And practice is great, but you need them live, honestly. You just need them. So what we'll do is take a look at the rest of the schedule for the weekend preseason wise. Anything that stands out to you. Let me put this up here real quick. Share my screen for a hot second. Alright, I don't know how much you guys can see all that, but so those are the 2 games we had yesterday. And then today we got Atlanta at Detroit, Cleveland at Jacksonville, Arizona at Cincinnati, New York at Philadelphia, You got Green Bay at San Francisco, KC at Chicago, Carolina at Washington. This is on Saturday now. Indianapolis at Buffalo, Seattle at Pittsburgh, Miami at Tampa Bay. Keep in mind, they had joint practice. I don't know how many starters you're going to see out there at all. New Orleans and Houston, Denver and Dallas, they also had a joint practice. Then you have the Rams and the Chargers. And on Sunday, we got Vikings and Raiders. So, we're looking at this schedule. What are some of the games you're most looking forward to? And obviously not in terms of like the matchups, but per se, but the players you want to see, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Lions. Just to see some of their younger players. They got some pass rushers. They got some DBs that I want to see. I wonder if Aku's gonna play. Different players on their later in their roster. They built a pretty solid roster. Atlanta, I don't know how much you're gonna get of the of Drake London, but I want to see. Hopefully they let Ritter play a good amount. That would be good for him. For Cleveland, obviously, you want to see the quarterback play and see what they do. And again, they have so much young talent on defense that I would like to see also. I've heard Delpit's had a great camp. So, I like to see how he looks out there. Hopefully he gets to play because he's been injured a lot. So, to see what he can do. Hopefully Jacksonville should play. Hopefully you get to see ETN, play.
Right.
That would be good. And who else? Run it, Trayvon Walker again. See what he does out there. And let's see, New York. The Jets, same thing. Jets with the young talent. With the receiver room, how they're going to use those receivers, and even some of the D linemen to see what they have out there. Philadelphia. A lot of these teams like Philly are kind of like they're ones or they're ones, so you're not going to get much of them. And then in Green Bay, I want to see if the rookies. I want to see the two Georgia rookies, see what they do. I want to see Jordan Love. Hopefully they give him a half. And then San Francisco, maybe it's just to see. I actually see the running back depth. That's what I want to see. Who carries the ball and what they do, and what kind of runs they have them doing. Maybe if a later receiver jumps out for them, who's going to fight for that number 3, 4, 5 spot, or 4 or 5 spot at receiver. And then some of their young DBs, to see if the corners, what they look like. Like I said, hopefully guys like Ambry Thomas and even Hufanga, see more reps from them. Maybe not Hufanga, but see more reps from those guys to see the improvements they made.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm here for anything Detroit, honestly. Dan Campbell's hilarious. You and I have been talking about we're just impressed with how tough they played in year one, knowing that they didn't really have a chance. But you liked how they fought, how they're built. That they're on the right side of that. We're physical as hell, and we don't need to tell you, what it is, which I appreciate. Because a lot of teams, when they get to talking about the physicality, usually means you're not about that. When you got to talk about it, because it's almost like you're trying to speak it into existence. Teams that are just tough, you don't even need to mention it because it's literally a way of life for you. So I enjoy watching Detroit in that regard. Like you said with Atlanta, just to see the youth, man. Hopefully Ritter gets some reps. It's nothing more than that. Drake London gets some reps. I don't need to see Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna be real honest. Don't need to see him at all. I know he's a second-year guy, but you showed us last year, sir. It's fine. And the rest of the youth on that team. You talk about Cleveland. Of course, it's a stacked roster. I just like seeing who's going to get which youngster's going to take advantage of their opportunity for extra reps, right? Jacksonville, you need to play your youngsters at some point. Let's be honest. If we're going to essentially throw away the year one for some of those kids, you need your reps. You need your reps in a functional, environment under Doug Peterson here. The Cardinals, I don't expect to see Kyler at all. I don't think Kyler played preseason last year, so at all. Just to see the kids, pretty much, I just want to see their draft class, right? I think we had it up on screen the other day talking about, what they brought in after what they lost. Defensively, see how those kids are being used. Who can try to do enough to make a splash and, get first dibs at filling some of these roles. Like you said with the Jets, I want to see what that offensive line looks like. I'm not going to lie. I know Mekhi Becton. Just want to see how it goes. Obviously, You know, you got Lakin over there. You got Vers Tucker. He should be solid. And Zach Wilson, like some of your other classmates, reps, buddy. Need to see. I don't. Even if it's a series, I'm cool with it. But you need to be out there because last year wasn't great. You need to be out there. Green Bay, I just want to watch the youth they have on defense, and then at wide receiving court, whoever plays, it's almost like outside of like Alan Lazard and Sammy Watkins to a degree. You know, it's open auditions, right? So I'm here to see Romeo Dubes. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but you know, you heard he was eating in camp, so here to watch him. Whoever else steps up, obviously the two kids they got on defense, as you mentioned. For the Niners, I just want to see the running backs, the youngsters on the O line. I don't care about Trent and McGlinchey. Don't need to see them. I want to see Burford, Brendel, and Banks together. Those three. That's all I want to see on the O line. After that, you know, everything's fine. You talk about the corners, yeah, Ambry and Demo. Need to see. So hopefully there's opportunity to see Ambry, Demo, and the rookie from this year, Sam Womack. Three of you got an opportunity to play tonight. Prove that you could be reliable depth, man. Because if you can't be reliable depth with them bringing in Charvarius, and if it looks like maybe you guys don't take a step, this is E-Man's at the end of his contract. One of you got an opportunity to step into CB2 next year, possibly, or they put aside some money for E-Man, and we won't see one of you. We won't see two of you next year. One of you might be out of there, right? I think that's and the young D-line, like the youngsters on the D-line, like the back end of that 16-man rotation. Just want to see how they do, right? KC, just want to watch the wide receivers, man. We've heard Juju's eating in camp. I don't know if we're gonna see Juju. With Chicago, everyone needs to play, man. For the most part, I'm not gonna lie. Like maybe outside of like Eddie Jackson, like y'all need to play. I can't wait to see Brisker. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait to see that. I don't know if Mooney needs to play. The rest of the wide receiver core, some of y'all just want to see what it looks like. Carolina, you know, you probably want to get an idea of what you guys look like. Washington, again, I think like most of the teams with the new quarterbacks, if it's the veteran quarterback that's not on the upper end, I think you need to play. Like you need to get live reps with your team. And I want to see what Washington's defensive line looks like. Like, it's going to be a year where you live up to the talent that's on paper. It's going to be another thing where, you know, you look better on paper than you do. You know, what you look like on paper doesn't match the production again. And I want to see the match the production, right? And they're deep enough where I don't care if the ones aren't in there. Like, I need to see the production, right? Where else? Buffalo. You know, it is what it is. I know Matt Ryan's playing for the Colts, so again, if Matt Ryan at his age deem it important enough for him as the new quarterback of this team to get in there and get some reps, for sure. I want to see Alec Pierce, honestly. Like, I want to see him go against not Stephon Gilmore that he sees in practice. All the youth on Seattle, I'm here for. Pittsburgh, I want to see their quarterbacks. Like, how bad is it? Or is it not bad at all? You know, been hearing a whole lot of interesting reports. Miami, I doubt we'll see the ones after the type of performance they had in the team practice. Same thing for Tampa Bay. The Saints and the Texans. You know, I'm here with the Texans just like the Lions. Always like to see them. With the Saints, I don't know if we're going to see Jameis or not. But, you know, they got some youth that folks should be interested in. Dallas and Denver, I know they practice against each other. I don't know what we're going to see at all. Then Rams and Chargers, I'm not interested in it either way, be real honest. One's the defending champs. Like, you don't need to do anything. Like, y'all just need to get through the regular season healthy. You know who you are, right? Denver, I mean, yeah, maybe Russ gets a series or two. Maybe. Off the Matt Ryan, maybe not. I don't know. And then last, you know, with the Vikings and the Raiders, I feel like for the most part, all y'all are like still intact. So I don't see I don't need to see Chandler Jones in preseason to know that he's Chandler Jones. I'm sorry, I really don't. And that goes for like the Chargers too. I don't need to see Khalil Mack in preseason to wonder if he's Khalil Mack, honestly. So I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. You have anything else, Justin? Oh, you're on mute.
Like you said, with Minnesota, you probably just want to see Kellen Mond and see what he looks like. If he's actual the real threat to the position. Not so much this year, but moving forward. Um, yeah, pretty much like you said, just the younger guys. See some of the guys lower on rosters, the skill guys, and because the league's full of basically the back of roster receivers, DBs, and pass rushers. So I mean, if you get some guys who can make some plays out here, whether it's a statement for their own team or another team, just to see some of those guys, and again, just to watch football, really.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with this. So, I mean, we got a couple days, take some things away from it. But again, back to what I said to start today. There's no huge indictments or rulings or anything that should be taken away from these games, man. Like, it's just either this, did whoever you're looking at the position battles, what have you, did someone make gains? Did they improve? Did they take a step forward? Or is the jury still out? That's really all of this is, honestly. And again, you got to think about it. There's still almost a month before the season begins, or less than a month now. But like whatever happens right now is not a huge. It doesn't mean everything or anything fully between now and then. Just be honest. Like it's just game reps, which is again like we were talking before we started today. Like there's gonna be a point in all these games where there's people on the field that you do not know. It's what preseason is for. Like, be completely honest with you. So just keep that in mind. But we have nothing else. You guys enjoy your weekend. And we'll catch up with you guys Monday and, have more to talk about, more of an in-depth list, kind of see who just stood out as a whole. We're not going to go over it game by game. Nobody has time like that. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great one.